Howdy folks, it's Meandering Mike in the Man Cave of Madness. It's the middle of the afternoon and we are doing an unboxing of this title here, Fléau de Martina. This is a French title. In English, the alternate name is Martina's Bane. This could also be translated as the Scourge of Martina. Now, is it Martina? Is it Martina? Martina was a Greek empress. She was the second wife of Emperor Heraclius. Heraclius' first wife, Eudokia, died in 1612, and he decided to then, in 1613, marry his niece. Yes, in Greek, Martina married her maternal uncle. Now, the people and the clergy and all that didn't like this. This was considered obviously too close. It was incestuous, but the emperor pushed it through anyway. So Martina was his second bride, his close compatriot on campaigning. She went with him campaigning against the Sassanid Empire, and she was with him at Antioch when they got the bad news that there was a defeat at Yarmouk at the hands of the Arabs. So this game is about the Arab conquest of the Levant, 1636 to 636 through 656. So this game was one of the Charles S. Roberts 2023 nominees in the medieval period. So let's go ahead and, enough of the history, let's get the shrink off and take a look. All right, so the shrink is off, and the first thing we notice that this is like a folder here on the outside. I'm gonna step back a little bit here so we can see some of the information here. Now, obviously, we have French and English, so I'm gonna zoom in on this portion right here. So we have two maps measured in centimeters, 59 by 41. What that is in inches, I don't remember off the top of my head. 216 die cut counters and markers, one rule booklet, and one player aid card. Okay, so it says here, see here they describe it as Martina's Bane, 2 scenarios, 1 campaign game, from the Battle of Yarmouk to the assassination of the third Caliph in 656. All right. Now, this is sort of mentioned some of the history of Martina's Bane is the people kept blaming her like she was the curse. It's her fault. It's her problem. And she was there. She was on campaign. She was in Antioch. And so the sort of Martina's Bane is like the blame that they kept blaming it on her. All right. So we have this folder here. It opens up. There's credits here. The game designer is Jason Juneau. Okay. Oh, this was from Vivictus. All right. So it's a kind of a lightweight folder to store the game materials in, but that sort of is better than nothing. It's better than a Ziploc bag, I would say. All right. So I'm trying to open this map here. Let's start with the map since it's right here. All right. So, okay. So we have, you can see it without the glare, Libya Inferior, Egyptus, spelled A-E-G, the Greek way, Augusta Nika here, Arcadia, Palestinia 1, I guess there might be a 2 of them. So these different regions of Palestine broken into multiple regions. There's Jerusalem, Caesarea Maritima, and these are off here. Now I'm gonna fold this back gently on the crease, but not too much, so I can show you the rest of the map. So here's the island of Cyprus, Constantia, Rhodes over here, or Rhodes, and this would be Crete. Hierapidna, the Lycia coast. Lydia, you can't quite see that there. Lydia. Assaria. Cilicia. Cappadocia, 1, 2. Armenia, way up here. Armenia. Cappadocia. Galatia. Bithynia, Phrygia, and the Hellespontus. Europa. That's Europe. It's up there. So there is Constantinopolis. Nicomedia. All right, so that's map 1. So obviously here, this will be the other part of the map. All right, so let's go ahead and get that. And lay it next to it, and then I'll sort of zoom out so you can get the big picture of the two next to each other. All right, let's go upside down. Now I'm gonna have to adjust this a little bit here. Take a little thing in there to prop that up. So I'll actually try to lay the seam over a little bit there. So you know, depending on how you do your maps, if you're putting it under plexi or whatnot. So, Arabes, the Caliphate. Tyrus, Sidon, Phoenicia, Assyria 1, but I don't see Assyria 2. Do you? Cilicia, Euphratensis, Sorowene, Mesopotamia. That's what they're calling Mesopotamia. Interesting. Here is the Empire Sassanida. Wow, they actually have Mount Ararat on their map. Armenia, 1, 2, 3. So 4 different Armenian sub-provinces. All right, so there's the map. I'm going to zoom out more here and sort of take a look at charts and tables. So, Table d'escarmouche, the skirmish table. Siege artillery, attrition table, assault table, train effects chart. And it's the way I like it. The iconography, the pictorial picture of the train type, the name of it. They actually have some footnotes and the movement effect. It's like a movement and stacking. Oh, interesting how they they spelled stacking without the C in French. Empalement. Piling them up. Empalement. So actually I've used the word staking there, so they left the C out for stacking. I'm going to zoom in a little there so you can see that even closer there to look at what some of those look like. Assault table. Attrition, siege artillery, skirmish, and there are some of the details. Difficile, like difficult, rough. Clair, a marsh, marais, lake, lac, desert, desert, sea, mer. Coslex, ex cotier. Please only notes. What is that? Suleiman, reviews, etc. So, it appears to be. Zoom out. Whoops. Sorry, I'm having to hover and hold. I've been trying not to do that lately. I've been trying to. Go from a stable position, but to show this map, So it's a turn track, putting the years. So these are yearly turns. Yep, yearly turns. All right, so then I'll set this down and let me fold up the maps. Now I'm gonna take a look at the counters since we've put the maps away. Gonna zoom out a little bit, hold these up. Wow, okay, these are very flimsy counter sheets. That whole flex. So I'm having to support it carefully. Now let's zoom in on parts of it. And take a look at some of these. Okay, so that font is somewhat problematic. Saracens, but I can't read some of these very easily, at least from this distance. I'm trying to read through the camera. Theodosiana. I'm reading it sideways too. Arcadacia. Legio 5. Legio 13. Like a legion? Legio? Egyptian here. Let's see if I can point with my thumb here. Egyptiorum. So Egyptian spearmen. So we've got nice colored silhouettes. Some things have numbers on them there. Augustam, the 1, 0s, 3s, you know. So that's some kind of Egyptian. So the upper left number is 0, but the lower, there's a lower number, lower right, where some of these have a lower left number. Cavalry there, symbols. So we'll have to figure out what all that iconography means, but I like the icons. However, I think they're a little too big. I'd like to see them a little smaller so that these numbers are easier to read. Now, because I'm up close and personal here at 2 times thing, but you know, where I'm holding these guys at a distance, not as easy to read necessarily. Some of these are not real great. I'm gonna, yeah, see, like these leaders. There she is, Martina. Heraclius. Constant, I'm assuming it's Constantine. Concubrat. Bombs. Theodore. All right, so yeah, definitely I like thicker kind of these. Just the flex on this is they're very thin. Yeah, just slightly smaller icons would be nicer and making the other numbers more crisp, but for the most part, they're very appealing. These are very appealing counters. All right, I'm gonna set those aside. And before we look at this rule book here, I don't need to zoom out, we're going to look at this player aid card. All right, so it is single-sided with only some of it translated. So like the French is Expedition 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got that. Routed units, Unites en route. So Ghazi. So some of the stuff is translated, some is not, but some you don't really need to translate it. Let me. I'm going to try to not bend it, but sort of hold it like that. Actually, there's they say cut this. Give it to each side. Yeah, I don't think I'll cut it. I think I'll make a photocopy and then maybe mount these on some kind of nice thick cardstock to give each player. This is very slick and glossy. Units might be slip sliding around here, so I would photocopy it on matte paper and put that on some thick cardstock or something. All right, the rule book. Le Fléau de Martina's Bane, also the Scourge of Martina. Règles and scenarios, rules and scenarios. All right. Looking at the back real quick. Sequence of play. Muster phase with 7 steps. Initiative phase. First campaign phase. Second campaign phase. Political phase and attrition phase. Okay, with first and second, it says one player is going first, and he may move. Expeditions, dispense them, fights, battles, etc. So it's kind of like an I go, you go, but who goes first is going to change based on the initiative, obviously. Political phase, attrition phase. All right. So let me go to the beginning now. All right. So I'm going to have to zoom out to give you the bigger picture at first. So this is all in French, so I'm going to assume it's cut right in the middle. And we've got French in the first half. Yep, there we go. Martina's Bane, the Arab conquest of the Levant, 636 through 656. Game by Jason Juneau. There, this is English rules. All right, they have game terms. It's interesting that some of these are just, so Arab is defined as the territories or combat units related to the Arab Muslim Caliphate. Dromans, battle fleet units. If you're a player of Age of Empires 2, some of the units have dromans. Garrison cities, camel units, Ghazi Town. All right. Counters, markers, rules. Fog of war. Players may not look at enemy stacks. Oh, interesting. They spell enemy with 2 N's. Enemy. All right. So that was the sequence of play that we saw. Muster, 7 steps, initiative, first, second campaigns, political, and attrition. Then they go into more detail. The muster phase. Heraclius mobile version. So there's historical notes, some rules about during the game setup, the Byzantine player must decide how Heraclius will conduct the war. The decision is fixed once made. During setup, places mobile or immobile counter on the map in one of the following hexes. So interesting. So he's sitting off and making a decision, and then you go off and you are gonna fight the battle based on sort of like his imperial plan. Arab taxes, Byzantine taxes. So off for your mustering, fleet units, modes of movement, expedition modes, camel units. So it's pretty detailed in terms of this level, this it sort of feels to me very much like sort of levy and campaign, medieval, operational, levying, mustering, going out, campaigning, yearly turns. The levy and campaign, those are usually not yearly turns. Are they seasonal? I can't remember. Field battles, assault table, skirmish table, skirmish and rout. So sea battles, siege, attrition. Special rules about the Armenian provinces, Persian garrisons. The Nakhars. 7 of the Byzantine leaders are Nakhars, members of the Armenian noble family. Interesting. Egypt, the Nile, Arab ally recruitment, Bishop Cyrus. He's placed in Alexandria. Cyrus played an important part in the war and is represented by the following rules. So, trade, taxation, stratagem, defeatism, some special event stuff, historical events. Let's see. Greek fire, Bulgar intervention, graft and corruption, gossip. That should be schism. So schism, schism in the Egyptian church. Loss of morale, ruler death, and volcanic eruption at Thera. Ooh, we even have a volcano. Quite interesting. Common events, earthquake, sea tempest, assassination attempt, robbery. Military events, strategist, tactician, heavy cavalry, heavy rain, blazing sun, epidemic, desertion. Now, what is this? Trahison. Trahison. I'm not familiar with what a trahison is. Or is that a mistranslation, or is this just something I'm not familiar with? Is it supposed to be treason? 1 unit of the opposite side ally with your troops. Yeah, it's like treason. Or traitor help you storm a town. Yeah, trahison. It's a mistranslation. Treason or treachery. Someone switches sides. Enemy discord, again, spelled with 2 N's. Wounder leader. I'm sure it's meant wounded leader. Storm at sea. All right, so scenarios. So I believe we have just 2 scenarios. So let's see, let's zoom out here. Oops. From Yarmouk to the death of Heraclius, you start in 636 and you go up to 641. So after Heraclius died, the empress was in charge with her son as regent. Or she was, regent, and her son, the secession of Heraclius. The Grand Campaign. All right, and let's see, what's this? Oh, a little example of play. They do have an example of play here. So that is that, folks. This was Le Fléau de Martina, the French name of Martina's Bane, or the Scourge of Martina. Martina is sort of the French way, Greek way, Martina. So, from Vivictus, this is without the magazine. This is just the game in this folder, the rule book, French and English. 1 2-part player aid with the intending to cut in half, so you can decide if you want to go ahead and do that or if you want to make copies. 1 counter sheet of pretty flimsy, bendy stock. Nice iconography, but again, I like one a little smaller and the font a little more readable. But overall, very visually pleasing. And then the 2 nice maps. Very nice that they use the Greek style of spelling, and that this is very similar and familiar to The Fate of All. If you've seen that recently. So, this has been a Meandering Mike production of unboxing a Charles S. Roberts 2023 nominee in the category of medieval period. Le Fléau de Martina. They could have said Martina's Bane, which is the English title, but this is good, or list them both. But anyway, I'm going to sign off now. So all you good folks out there, remember, take care of your games, because they will take care of you. Ciao.